Welcome back to another episode of The Recap. The Green Island Grizzlies take the field as they go head-to-head with the Averill Park Rebel Starz. The Starz are undefeated coming into the game, while the Grizzlies support a 3-4 record. One leadoff batter, Cam Brown. Yup, just doing Cam Brown things. Dude's been the best player in the BBWL, hands down. Sullivan would settle in, though, and he would strike out Tuna. The Starz, surprisingly, would only put one across. Wind blowing hard in this one, and the Grizz would have to hope for it because Cam Brown was on the hill, and the wind just wasn't blowing that one out of the strike zone. Andre G down on strikes, and then Matt Gundrum taking a big hack there, and then Andre G later in the inning would go down on strikes again. Starz up 1-0 after the first. The Grizz trying to be the first team to hand the Rebel Starz a loss. Sullivan dealing early, gets the fly out, the ground out, and then Mazio again later in the inning. A circus catch here, but nonetheless an out. And the Grizzlies just down 1-0 after top of two. Bottom two, Grizz trying to find a way. 4 straight strikeouts at this point for Cam Brown, but this is where things change. The Grizz take on a different strategy. Gundrum, hammered with a ball, decides he's not going to swing again and draws a walk. So the strategy becomes, let's look at some pitches. Another walk to Andre G, and then this one is huge. 4 straight pitches. Rare from Cam Brown, but 2 runs are going to score and the Grizz take the lead. Another rare piece of play here, a single from Andre G. Cam Brown rarely gives up hits. Now the Starz are down 3-1. So to this point, Sullivan was dealing, but maybe the pressure got to him. He walked Cam Brown, then walked Mazio, and then 4 straight pitches, gonna walk Mazio, tie game. He'd walk Mazio around again, and then finally he throws a strike, and Ty Mazio makes him pay for the mistake. Hits a homer over the center field wall, then Cam Brown doubles. This turns into a disaster. Remember, the Grizz were up 3-1 to start the inning, and when it was all said and done, they would push a total of 7 runs across to go up 5. Starz up 8-3. They would never look back. Cam Brown would mow him down in the bottom frame of the inning. Rebel Starz win game 1, 8-3. Andre G on the hill in game 2 for the Grizz would strike out Cam Brown to start the game. However, from there, not so much the same luck. Mazio would keep this one just fair for a home run. And then Cam Brown would come back up again to redeem himself. Just squirts this one up over the wall. The Starz would score 5 in the inning into the bottom of the first. Nasty slider from Mazio. Then he would get Andre G chasing 5-0 Rebel Starz to start the game. Gundrum gets Mazio to ground out here, but Pryor had walked a handful, ends up giving up 3 runs in the inning. Starz up 8-0 going into the bottom of the second. We show this because Mike Sullivan is a baller who's leading the BBWL in home runs. That was his 11th home run. However, it was the only run the Grizz would score in the inning. They would remain down 8-1 going into the top of the third. Starz score 5 more in the top of the third. They didn't see too many strikes, but when they did, they were efficient. A double here from Cam Brown, and then Ty Mazio. Starz up 13-1 going into the bottom of the third. Starz hand the ball to Tuna, as they do when they try to preserve innings for Cam and Ty. He gives up a homer here, but in the end it wouldn't matter because the Rebel Starz would go on to win 13-2 and stay undefeated going into Game 3. Cam Brown back on the hill in Game 3, and the Grizz would stick to their strategy, refusing to swing. They would actually load the bases, and Matt Gundrum was really trying to get in Brown's head, switching back and forth between the right-handed batter's box and the left-handed batter's box. And believe it or not, they would score 2 runs in this inning. Cam Brown did strike out the side regardless of the 2 runs that he walked in, and then he would try to put his team back in the game with this mammoth blast to right center. At this point, the Rebel Stars would be down 2-1. This is all they would get in the inning. Grizz would continue to try to push the Stars to the limit, but Cam Brown with a diving play here, going to keep the momentum on the Stars side, and then Mazzio, inside corner fastball, puts down Andre G, and then look at this slider. Mike Sullivan wanted nothing to do with it. 2-1 game going into the bottom of the second. As the Grizz did in Game 1, they are trying to hang on. Matt Gundrum now on the mound. Although his struggles would continue after a handful of walks. Tuna gonna double, and then Mazzio touch them all. The Rebel Stars would score 5 runs in this inning and go up 6-2. Gundrum, no doubt the Grizzlies' toughest pitcher, can throw gas, just needs to find the strike zone. Unfortunately, couldn't do it in this one. All business for the Rebel Stars in the bottom of the third as the Grizz try to come back. Mazzio uses the slider once again and then finishes off Sullivan to end the game. You gotta hand the Grizzlies credit. They hung tough. All right, 2 games they gave the Stars their toughest games yet, but in the end, the Stars win that one 6-2, take this series 3-0, remain undefeated as the Grizz slide to 3-7. Thanks for joining us again on The Recap.